Why Watch That is a podcast featuring the critic
and referee who go head-to-head on a quest to discover the best movies
and TV shows Hollywood has to offer. Expect the unexpected from the critic.
Well, nothing gets past the ref.
We do all the work,
so you don't have to. Welcome to Why Watch That.
The Why Watch That movie talk.
Oh my goodness, we have 2 sneak peeks for you. These are, I'm going to call them indie sneak peeks. Actually, no, I'm sorry. 1 sneak peek and a first look. It is something that one of them you'll definitely hear some buzz about during the award season, because already it's taken the festivals by storm and everybody and their mom is like falling all over this. And the other is one quiet release. It's the quietest release I have ever in my whole life not seen. Put it that way. Very quiet release with some big names attached, but super quiet. That it's basically available to you on DVD. But first, let's start with Parasite. Ooh, Parasite, which is a new movie that comes out relatively quickly this Friday. It will be available, I cannot say everywhere. I can't say it, but certainly in enough places to be an alternative to, Joker already came out, or Joker rather already came out. And if you're like, you know what, I need a cleanser, I will say this will be a cleanser, but I will say it will be a little different than Joker. It swept through the festivals. It took the highest prize at the Cannes Festival. It was at the Toronto Film Festival. I mean, it's everywhere, basically. And it's directed by Joon-ho Bong, who also wrote it along with Yang-kwon. It has a cast that you probably won't recognize if you're into certain genres of movies. Some of these people may be familiar. I did know, I've seen Kang-ho's song in a couple other things. Yeo-jeong is also in it, and along with some other people who are coming through. And of course, please forgive me for mispronouncing any of those names. I think that when the critic, listeners, I'm just going to give you a tidbit because we both saw it, but I think that when the critic is explaining the plot line, please listen carefully, because there's some twists and turns to this that he may or may not choose to share. But just realize there are some twists and turns. What you start with is not what you end with. So listen carefully as he walks us through Parasite.
Yeah, it's like 2 movies.
Yeah,
really.
It's definitely maybe 3.
Maybe. So, we're in South Korea. And there's this family. There's the mama, the papa, and the 2 kids. But the kids, they're like in their early 20s. They're not children. And these people have to work. They have to pay the bills, in quotes. They ain't paying no bills. But they have to be able to eat and survive.
Yeah, they're
and they
rich.
start off and we see they're trying to find some Wi-Fi. Where's the Wi-Fi? What happened to it? It ain't their Wi-Fi. This is the kind of family we're dealing with, okay?
Uh-oh.
Now, the son, he has a good buddy. Because the son is smart enough to be in university, but he's not. He wasn't able to go. I won't tell you why. So his buddy, who is in university, is tutoring a wealthy girl who's in high school.
Oh, boy.
He's tutoring her in English. But he has to go away. Okay? So he goes, look, while I'm away, why don't you go tutor her? Because I don't trust any of my colleagues because they're going to want to date her. And I'm waiting until she goes to college to date her. So you can keep it warm while I'm gone.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So he has to first, be interviewed by the mother of this girl. So he goes through that interview, and then the mother's like, hey, I want to see you actually tutor her. Let me make sure you're up to snuff. I know the previous tutor said that you were good. I trust him, but let's just make sure. And let's just say that he nails it.
Unconventionally.
Yes. Now, in this wealthy home, they have all of these wonderful things aesthetically. They have top-of-the-line appliances and electronics. So he's looking around going, not too bad. So there's the mom. There's also the father, who's a businessman, so he's not there when he comes in. And then, of course, there is this daughter, but there's also a young son. And there's a housekeeper. And this housekeeper is not attached to the family. She's attached to the house. She was the housekeeper before this family moved in. She was the housekeeper for the man who built the house, the architect. And she knows all about it. Okay, but our trusty friend who's taken over as this tutor, he has a mother, a father, and a sister who all need jobs. And this wealthy family has the money to pay him. So the question is, how is he going to get them hired by this wealthy family? How, as whom, in what capacity, and who has to pay the price of them coming in and taking that money? Now, halfway through the movie, does this succeed? You'll find out. But because of these schemes, some people may not be so happy. Maybe some people are on to them. And the question is, if they get found out, what's going to happen? Can they hide successfully? Will there be blackmail? Will there be subterfuge? Will there be deaths?
Oh boy.
That's the question. And by the end, I'll put it this way. You won't know how you got there.
You will not.
I think that's enough for the plot.
I think you should start.
I will say this. Let's say the first hour, when they were building in this family, trying to infiltrate the wealthy family.
It was funny. It was humorous.
I loved it. I love that kind of thing, the scheming, the whole thought process of it. I like the writing. And this, by the way, of course, you have to read subtitles. I enjoyed reading the subtitles. Yeah. Like you said, the humor was there. It all made sense. It was just well edited, well shot, because Bong Joon-ho, remember everybody, directed Snowpiercer. So you're going to get the aesthetic. But when the major shift happens, I felt like they popped the balloon. I could feel it in the room, Ref.
Yes, me too.
You could feel people kind of shift and go, okay, where am I going? And for the rest of the movie, that's the question. It's like, where exactly are you taking me and why? Why did we have to go here?
Why?
The first movie was the movie.
Yeah.
This is the movie right there. It's just like the I think it was last year, Ref, we loved the movie. Was that Korean too?
Shoplifters.
It wasn't that kind of movie, but I had the feeling like, oh,
yeah.
This is a foreign film that could make it.
Right.
And then the second half, it was ridiculous. It was crazy.
Long.
Happening. When people laughed, first of all, the laughter died down, but when it happened, it was kind of a shock laugh, not a laugh. And I just don't know that in the end, it was worth all of that. I really just wish that they had stuck with the first idea, because that was enough for an entire film.
Yes.
So, I mean, what I would say to you is this. If you're an art house type, you have to see this. You have to. If you're not, you don't have to go to the movies to see it. It does look great on the big screen. Can you wait, if you're interested, to watch it from home if it becomes available that way? You can. And again, just know the first hour, if you're liking it, it's going to change.
Yes. I will have to say every actor came to play. Everybody did. Everybody was right in their lane, especially in the first half. You really had each of the family members had a particular kind of humor or a shtick that they were doing, and the actors were really there to play with that. Even the rich family, they kind of, you know, the mother is kind of a train wreck, and she played this. The actress played a fine line between being a very rich, powerful, you know, influential woman and ultimately a sucker, because basically they're a bunch of suckers. I echo everything you said. It's definitely 2, maybe 3 movies, because the first movie, the hour, like you said, is something, and then it shifts, and then by the very end, I'd say the last 10 minutes, it's a different genre of a movie. Yeah. So I say this: I don't think you need to see it at the movies. I think you're gonna want to pause for a second and go, what the heck? What is happening here? I think you're going to want that freedom. I mean, of course, you know, go out and see it if you want to, but I think it will work at home as a thing that you watch with other people, watch it with other people, and pause when you need to and go, what? Did you guys read that right? Like, what is happening? And then by the end of it all, you can take your mouth and take your hand and close it and turn to your neighbor, turn to whoever's sitting next to you and go, why? So there's the review. Now, some of you are like, oh, I definitely want to see it. Go ahead, because guess what? They're going to be talking about it around award season. So you might as well get ahead of it. But I will say this: don't go into the movie theater with your $15 and then your $6, $7 popcorn, basically your $20, $25 night, and think that you're going to have this cute little bow wrapped at the end of the movie. It is not that type of movie. So
no, but it ain't boring.
It's not boring, but please realize that you were warned. Now, we have a first look for you. I did not see this, but the critic got a chance to see this, not when it hit the movie theaters, because that happened sometime in August, very quietly, by the way. But it is going to be on available to you on Blu-ray or DVD, digital even. I think you can even kind of watch it on demand at this point if you know, are just want to race to see this after you hear this review. But it's a movie called Light of My Life, directed by, are you ready? Casey Affleck. Yes, you know Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's brother. It was also written by Casey Affleck. Oh, okay. Has a very familiar cast, and some of you are like, wait, what? Wait, what? What are you talking about? Casey Affleck directed this. Yes. Is he in it? Yes. Is Elizabeth Moss in it? Yes, she is. Tom Bower and Anna. I mean, just people that you go, what? How did I not know about this? Exactly. So the critic got a chance to watch it. He got a review copy of the DVD. He can talk to us about maybe some of the other things that are available on it. But basically, he can talk to us about it because we don't know.
Yeah, and it's really bare bones, the packaging. I'll put it that way. It's not.
That's good to know.
You're not going to get a lot out of that. However, the movie itself, what has happened is, and let me start by this. Do not read the synopsis.
Oh, good.
I don't know why they give this stuff away. Because the way the movie builds it in, you realize where you are. It's a reveal. It starts with a father and his son, daughter? You don't know at first. So Casey Affleck is the dad, and his child is Rag, played by Anna Pniowsky. And he's telling Rag a story. And Rag is like, don't make this story about me. Because it starts sounding like Rag. So he starts morphing into the story of Noah, essentially, making it up, riffing off of that. And Rag is kind of like, this is lame, dude. They're in a tent. Where? Is it a park? Is it a forest? Where in the world are they? They seem to be alone. But a little later on, when he comes out of the tent, they're both out. A man is there, sniffing around. And Dad is like, can I help you? And Dad says to this man, let me tell you, my friend, and he describes his friend in a menacing way, is just a ways away. So you need to get to walking. What happens as a result of that? Why is he being so cagey? And we figure out what's going on with Rag, and we find out that Rag is his daughter. But why does Rag have her hair cut so low? Was it Rag's choice? Because Rag is a singular being. Or is there another reason? And as we move forward, we start to have a feeling of movies we've seen before. The Road, for instance. That kind of thing. Something's happened in the world that has wiped out a whole big part of the population. And that's what the caginess is coming from. So by the end, the question is, even if you're thinking of zombie movies, here we go. In the end, the question is, can Dad and Rag find a place where they are actually safe? Because Dad keeps going to Rag, we can't be here. People will want to come to a house. We can't be here for that. And by the end, he finds his way back to his grandparents' home, but who's there? And the question is, who is after him and Rag, and why? And can he keep Rag safe? Plus, when will it be time for Rag to finally grow up? This society, if you want to call it that, is not for children. I think that's enough.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
these kinds of movies are for me. Okay?
Okay.
I'll just say it that way. Like the one with Ben Foster ref that we saw at Sundance.
Yes. Yeah, I totally.
Yeah.
Leaving no trace.
Leave no trace.
Leave no trace.
That kind of thing. You know, I love movies like this. I love it when we have guys who are in these situations and they don't say a lot, and there's all of this stress, and they have to help their children, and then the script gets flipped. Like, I just like the story. So is this anything new in this genre? No, it's not. And by the way, Elizabeth Moss plays the mother. Where is she? Okay. So that's what's going on here. Now, here's my thing, though. I said I like it when they don't say a lot. And in the scenes between Dad and Rag, it's just, for me, too much talking. And here's why. It cuts the tension. If you're talking that much, it must not be that dangerous. Because if you're in this situation where at any time somebody could come in and kill you, you don't say a lot. You're always paying attention. You're listening, right? It was just too much dialogue from Casey in those scenes. But when they encounter other people, that's when you get the tension. And that's when all the talking makes sense. You can feel it. So in those scenes, that's when I was like, oh, there's your pulse. I just wish that he had pared down the scenes with Rag. We don't need a lot of talking. We just need the looks. Now, how is it shot? You have this kind of faded out look. All of that's there. And again, the scenes with other people worked. And by the end, I think it did pick up the steam about halfway through, and then it got to where it needed to go in the end. And it is, of course, the kind of ending that's hard to take. So if this is your kind of movie, Light of My Life, as the ref said, it's available right now. You don't have to go to the movies to see it. Yeah. So you certainly, if you want, you could rent it. It's not a bad film. Again, if this is for you, you can check it out that way. If it's not, if you don't want to pay, you can wait to see whether it, sneaks out somewhere on some platform that you have.
Do we? You said it's sparse.
Yeah. You don't have to buy the DVD. You don't have to buy the Blu-ray. You could buy it digital. So that's up to you. Heck, you could even just rent it digitally and determine whether you want to pay for it after that.
Gotcha. Thank you Critic, thank you for doing that for us. You brought something that we didn't know was out there. So basically you can catch Parasite in theaters on October 11th. But you can also check out Light of My Life on DVD on the 8th. Or again, like as the critic said, you can actually check it out right now on demand if you want to. So really realize this. We're going to scour and comb through these movies to find something that maybe appeals to you. So please stay with us here at Why Watch That.
Thanks for listening. For additional resources, visit whywatchthat.com.
Good idea, and we'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and leave comments, feedback, and you can rate us on iTunes.
We'll see you next week.
See you.